Hello everyone, thanks a lot for joining us for the final concert for 2020, and what a year it has been. Thank you to all of you who have been to many of our live stream concerts over the past several months, since March when we first started moving to live stream concerts. Your support has kept us going, kept the momentum of the Melbourne Guitar Festival going, and it's allowed us to continue to employ musicians and myself as well through the work I do with the MGF. So thank you so much for your ongoing and continued support. And tonight's concert is extremely special. It's entirely new music written for the guitar by students from our recent composition courses, which Daniel Nistico has been lecturing over the past several months. And when we first started these courses, we didn't expect the output that we would get, but we've just been so blown away by the quality of material many of these students have produced in just one short month taking these courses. And a lot of these composers have never actually written for guitar or any instrument before in their life. So it's absolutely incredible the quality of work that has been submitted in just the 4 weeks of these courses. And after we did, I think it was about 3 courses we've done over the past several months, and we just had so much great repertoire produced. Dan and I had a chat and we said, let's do a live stream concert with all this repertoire because it's just fabulous work and I think everyone needs to hear it. So I'd like to welcome Daniel to the stage, and he'll be presenting tonight's concert. The pieces are in the description, and he'll talk a little bit about several guitars that he is playing tonight as well. And I'll see you in the comments section, and feel free to stick around after the concert for a chat with Daniel as well. And yeah, thank you for joining us, and I hope you enjoy tonight's concert. Let's give a big round of applause to Daniel.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Huge thanks to Michael for organising this and for all the great work that he does through the Melbourne Guitar Festival. This is a very special event for me to be playing I've got this big book here just full of pieces that have been composed over the past few months, and I've had just a joy practicing them and a joy seeing them, be born and develop and into the full mature pieces that they are. So it's really a celebration of the work that these composers have done. If we had more time, there's so many great pieces, I had to narrow it down. So unfortunately, it's not even as many pieces as I would like to play. But we'll, do what we can in the time that we have, and it's just a incredibly special opportunity. And in addition to that, I've got 3 guitars here made by local makers as well. So it's a celebration of those makers and of the composers who have written this gorgeous music. So the first piece, I'm not going to try and talk too much about each piece because otherwise the time will drag on. We've got a lot of pieces to get through. So the first piece is called Waltz for Jennifer, and it's by Nigel Jones. The next piece on the program is called The Secret Mirror. It's by Greg Smart. The next work we have is called Oriental Song by Issam Ibrahim. Just want to briefly talk about this is the third piece so far in the program, and every piece is really so distinct and unique, and some of them have very personal stories attached to them as well. And I think the titles of many of these will evoke a little bit about their character and their mood as well. So this one is called Oriental Song. beautiful work there. Features one of the things we spoke about in the composition course was putting melodies into different registers, and I really love what Issam did there by putting the melody first in the low register and then going up higher. Really, really beautiful effect there. The next piece is by Rick Alexander, who is a local guitarist and composer based here in Melbourne, and this piece is called Solace. Next, we have a piece by Kevin Toller, which is called Prelude, Jours. This one is quite an uplifting tune, and he uses a lot of variation techniques that we talked about in the composition course. So you'll hear the same melodies recurring, but with different forms or different accompaniments or being put into different registers. He really makes a great use of that. So here is Kevin Toller's Prelude. Next, another very contrasting work here called By the River by Paul Ryan. I think the title here really explains a lot about this piece of music. Really gorgeous textures and harmonies that Paul has used in this piece. And I will just emphasize what Michael said at the start. For most of these composers, this is their first piece of music ever written for the guitar. So I'm absolutely blown away at the, not just the quality of the craft of the composition, but the message and the, what each piece is communicating it's just extraordinary. So here is By the River by Paul Ryan. Okay, I'm about to swap over guitars now, but before I do that, I wanted to just briefly talk about this one that I've just played here. This is made by Cary Pedicini, who is a wonderful luthier based here in where is he again? In the goodness, I don't remember, Mornington Peninsula. That's where we are. Cary's based in the Mornington Peninsula, not very far away from us here in the in the city of Melbourne. So I've known Cary for quite a few years now, and he's brought his guitars to me over the years, and I've been so impressed by them, but also impressed by, he just keeps on developing and growing and trying out new things and trying to cater to guitar players as well, asking us what can be improved, what do you like. And so this is an absolutely gorgeous instrument. It's a double top instrument. It's sort of a blend of old and new. In many ways, it retains some of the traditional, beautiful tone colors of a traditional guitar, but it has the volume and projection and sustain of a modern guitar. It's kind of a hybrid in a way, and absolutely beautiful craftsmanship that you have as well with the, it's probably hard to see, but with the rosettes and the headstock here, there's really gorgeous details. Or maybe this camera here, yeah, if you can see that. So huge thank you to Cary for all the great work that you do, and absolutely stunning instrument. So thank you, Cary. I'm going to move to this instrument now, also made by a local luthier. It's quite a different instrument. This is a lattice braced instrument, so it's based on the guitars of Greg Smallman. So it's a purely kind of modern conception with lattice braced soundboard, reinforced with carbon fibre and very heavy back and sides. This is made by Roger Lee, who's also called Captain R, and so I just wanted to show you this instrument. It's also a beautiful instrument, also made by a maker here, right in Melbourne. So this next piece is called The Butterfly by Daniel Vila-Domini. Sorry if I mispronounce your names, anyone. We had a couple of ideas about the story behind this piece. It's when you think of a butterfly, you've got the caterpillar and the cocoon, and then metamorphosis. I think that was actually one of the first titles, the earlier titles that Daniel had was Metamorphosis. I think was with this piece, but it turned into the butterfly. So there's this kind of very very evolving sort of nature to this piece, but we do get this theme that comes back as a bit of a refrain throughout the piece, so you'll notice that. All right, here we go, The Butterfly. Oh, that one's quite a handful. I do want to emphasize again here that, and make the point here that we do have we were running two types of composition courses. One was an introductory course and one was an advanced course. So far, all of the pieces I've played in the program have been from the introductory course. So this was actually composed as an introduction to composition, as well as all of the pieces I've played previous to this one. I'll let you know when we get to the advanced course pieces, but I just wanted to point that out. And our intention with the introductory course was that people would just write a melody, 4 or 8 bar melody. And people, so many guitarists just totally exceeded our expectations, and it was just amazing to witness that. Some people were writing multiple pieces. This next composer, George Jenner, is one who's written 2 studies here. I will only play one today for you because there's just so many pieces. I would love to play number 1. I will just play number 2 for tonight, and I'm sorry, George, to do that to you. But George has written these 2 studies, and I've noticed that he's written more pieces since he completed the composition course. So this is my dream come true, is that people continue to compose well after the course is over, that they have the skills to do that and continue to produce such exquisite compositions for the guitar. And as I said, many of these are their first pieces. So you can just imagine if they continue to compose again and again, the guitar will be graced with a whole body of fantastic new compositions. So this is study number 2 from 2 studies by George Jenner, and he's put a little cheeky thing here in the dates. He said 1960 till 2255. So that's a little cheeky addition there. Right, what a wonderful piece there. I think that was also George's first composition, or with the two etudes there. I was just blown away after hearing that again and again. That was the first composition. And again, we have, I think, the first composition by Daniel Armstrong. This is called The Sleepers. It's written in a bit more of a different style. So far, most of the pieces have been written in, a sort of a common practice period, classical romantic sort of style. This one is based on the music of Philip Houghton, who was an Australian composer, and it uses a bit more of a different flavour of composition, of style. It's quite a different style to what we've heard so far. So it's really, really exciting. And here is The Sleepers by Daniel Armstrong. Alright, so introductory composition course, original expectation 4 to 8 bars, and here I've got four pages of music. Daniel Armstrong has done a absolutely fantastic accomplishment there, so as well as everyone else, and just blown away. So thank you for listening to this program. Next up, we've got a piece by Paul Copeland, a study. And Paul is not a guitar player, he's a pianist, but he's written for the guitar and written some absolutely stunning gems for the guitar in the past, and he came along on board the composition course and contributed so many wonderful things and so much encouragement to the group. So I'm very honoured to share this study by Paul Copeland. Fantastic music, and because Paul doesn't write, isn't a guitar player, it did create some interesting conversations, because I've found that non-guitarists sometimes will not really take into consideration some of the limitations or what's sort of easy or not on the guitar, and that can actually produce some incredible music. Because the composer isn't so bound by the limitations of the instrument. But then it's our job as a guitar player to sort of try to make it as playable as we can. So thank you, Paul. So the next piece is called Elegi by Paavo Jumppanen. I think hopefully that's how you pronounce. Sorry for the mispronunciation there, Paavo. This is called Elegi, and again a bit more of a modern flavour to this composition, like Daniel Armstrong's piece we heard a couple of numbers ago. And this one was also composed in the introductory composition course, and it's a really dramatic composition. Hope you enjoy. So we have very dramatic, sort of, it's not quite atonal, but he uses a very, Paavo used a very modern language there. The composition course we did was tailored more around a sort of common practice style of music, which is sort of like music from between the 17 and 1800s, roughly. That kind of classical romantic style, but we did get some guitarists who wrote in a different style, and it's just fantastic. I just want to encourage any directions like that composer wants to take. So that was the last piece of the introductory course compositions. So the remainder of the program now are pieces that were composed through our advanced course. So we did a 4-week, so it was 1 month, just to give you an idea as well here, that these pieces were written in 1 month, all of them. So people spent 1 month in the introductory course, and then if they wanted to continue on to the advanced course, there was another month there. So, in 4 weeks of work, just astonishing. I'm just blown away by what these guitarists have done here. So this is a work by Paula Child, and it's called Mazurka-Choros. Next on the program is Lullaby for G, composed by John Michailidis. These pieces from the advanced course, the aim was to make them a more extended form, so you'll notice that these pieces are a little bit longer. You'll hear repeating sections a little bit more, and you'll hear some more perhaps complex devices, compositional devices being used, exploring more of the range of the instrument and using imitation and various things like that, more effects. So I think all of the pieces are really representative of that, and this is a beautiful lullaby by John. a lot of these pieces were composed during lockdown, whether these people were in Australia or overseas in different countries. So this next one is, I think, alluding to that. It's called Distraction by Yvonne Grunder. And I think she was in lockdown and the composition course was a bit of a nice distraction for her. Yvonne has really masterfully used counterpoint in her composition. You'll hear different lines kind of calling and answering with each other in a lot of imitation, especially in the middle section of this piece. She really went all out with that kind of compositional technique. So I hope you enjoyed Distraction by Yvonne Grunder. Each piece has such a great story. I mean, it's such a privilege to have been part of seeing these pieces evolve and being born. And the next one is by Ilay Kennis. It's called Blossoming, Minuet and Trio. I do want to mention here that Ilay is 10 years old, and I've gotten to know a bit more of the past few months online. He's based in the UK. I'm in Australia, and he's a very, very sharp musician, and you should look out for his name. So this, I think, was his first composition as well. This Minuet and Trio, and it's just absolute joy to play. So here is Blossoming, Minuet and Trio by Ilay Kennis. how incredible. I mean, for anyone to compose that, but keeping in mind that Ilay is 10 years old, just to have no words, I'm just speechless. Such a fun piece to play, very, very difficult piece, thanks Ilay for those passages. Congratulations. Next on the program is by Cilla Kinross, and it's called Drifting. This is, we've had quite a few different styles and genres. This is inspired by O'Carolan, who was an Irish harp player. So there's a bit of an Irish sort of style infused into this piece. So I hope you enjoy Drifting by Cilla Kinross. Beautiful work by Cilla. Just want to quickly mention the first movement. The first section of that was, the title was Drifting. The first section was Calm Waters. And the second section was Choppy Waters. And just thought that was a really great sort of musical analogy, or musical word painting, you could say, that Cilla managed to infuse into her piece. Next on the program is Study After Torroba by Chris Dowle. as I mentioned earlier on, not all of the composers were guitar players. We had a few, 2 or 3 through the courses that have played other instruments primarily. And so the next piece was written by a harp player, Shirley Allot, and it's called Handling Water. And it's a really, really beautiful, sort of serene, tranquil piece. And again, it's got a bit of a maybe Irish sort of a style feel to it. So hope you enjoy, excuse me, hope you enjoy Handling Water by Shirley Allot. Next we have another Mazurka. We did have a Mazurka earlier on by Paula. This one is by Byron. It's called Dance of the Shadows. It's a really, it's quite short, this one, but Byron really packed in a lot of beautiful melodies, harmonies, ornaments. So hope you enjoy. Right, a very romantic piece that was based on Mazurka by Tarrega, and this next one by Trisha was also based on a work by Francisco Tarrega. It's called Camino de la Luz, and this is by Trisha Budd. gorgeous piece. I think Trisha has a gift for writing memorable, beautiful melodies, and this piece is a great testament to that. So, alright, we're heading to the last couple of pieces now. So next we have Prelude and Dance, composed by Tom Chalko, who's a local, well, he's based in Victoria, guitarist and composer. And Tom has done some composition before, so many of these was their first composition, but Tom is a really dedicated composer and wanted to learn more, and he applied so many of the ideas that we talked about in the course and created this fantastic theme and variations piece, Prelude and Dance. The dance is a folk dance from a certain region in central Poland, and it's one of the 5 national dances of Poland. So the 4 being, and please forgive my pronunciation, Krakowiak, Mazur, like Mazurka, Oberek, and Polonaise. Of all above dances, this one is based on the Kujawiak, and it's the most romantic due to its calm lyrical nature, enhanced by its slow, expressive rubato tempo. It's based on a 3-bar melody in triple time with accent on the 2nd or 3rd beat of the bar. So, here is Prelude and Dance by Tom Chalko. A wonderful piece by Tom Chalko, and we're going to finish now, I think, on the most relevant piece in a way, because this piece describes the year of 2020. It's called 2020 From Bushfires to Pandemic. It was composed by David Hole. David Hole is also a guitar builder, so I have the distinct pleasure of being able to play David's guitar, and this guitar is, I believe, made mostly, or maybe if not all, from Australian woods, Australian tone woods. It's a really beautiful, it's fresh, fresh off the press. I can smell the lacquer or the polish, the finish or whatever it is on the instrument, and so it's my pleasure to be able to play David's piece 2020 From Bushfires to Pandemic on David's guitar. This is a great celebration of composers. Many of you are here, I know, so thank you for the work you've done, and the local guitar makers, thank you for everything you've contributed, and I'll finish on this piece. A few little notes here that this piece tells the story of this year from bushfires to pandemic, so you'll hear in the score, David's provided some description. At the opening, we have with bushfire intensity, right? With the opening, you'll hear these big chords, and later on in the piece, the piece takes a huge turn, and it says that we exist in lockdown, a little feeling of time. It's got this kind of timelessness to it, and then these other signals, and then the final section, what does the future hold? So this is 2020 From Bushfires to Pandemic. All right, thank you everyone. Thank you, Michael. Thanks so much for everything you've done with the composition courses, helping facilitate that, and with this concert, and for the other amazing live streams you've done. Thank you everyone for joining. Hope you've enjoyed the program. It's been an absolute pleasure to play. It's been a little bit overwhelming, I'll admit, to learn so many pieces in a short amount of time, but it's been so much fun. I've really enjoyed it, and I do want to just let you know about a few other events that are happening. So we will be running a composition course again next year, I think in February. February we'll be doing the introductory composition course in February. If anyone would like to join it, I think Michael will provide some details. You can register for that. And we also have a practice boot camp happening in January, a 3-day weekend where we'll dive into 12 practice methods online. It'll be an online boot camp. So hope to see you at one or both of those events that we have happening next year. So it's going to be an exciting start to the year. All right. So thanks everyone. Maybe Michael to say some final words.
Great. So because we're live, we've got the live chat. So we'd love to have a chat with everyone. It's the farewell for the year. So if you have any questions for Dan or comments, I'll bring them up on my phone here so Dan can read through them and have a chat with all of you. So please stick around. This is the after concert refreshment. So grab your drink and just fabulous playing, Daniel. I can't say that highly enough of your performance tonight. To learn all of these pieces in such a short period of time is just incredible, and they're not easy pieces.
Yeah, most there's some that are real challenges there. But it was a lot of fun, and it's just amazing to the amount of emotional and compositional depth in these pieces, and most of these pieces were the first compositions by those particular composers, which I mean, I'm just astounded by that quality. For a first go, it's just astounding. So I really hope that every single person who's taken the course and written a piece will continue to compose and write more, because you'll just keep, it's just an upward journey. You'll just keep on getting even better at composing and contributing more to the repertoire of the guitar. So
yes, and yeah, as well as your beautiful playing, just the level of compositions we heard tonight, just incredible. So I think a big round of applause for all the composers that have been watching tonight and that wrote all these beautiful pieces for the tonight's concert. So congratulations to all of you. Bring up the comments here. So all the information about those courses Daniel was mentioning can be found on melbourneguitarfestival.com, just under the upcoming events page. And we had a great comment from Paavo. He's suggesting making a CD for all of this repertoire.
Well, so that'd be a lot of fun if all the composers are happy to do that.
Have a chat with them and see what we can do. Yeah. And David Holt, he said the house still smells of the oils of the guitar that he just made.
Yeah.
And a lot of congratulations to you and all the composers here. Fantastic pieces, beautifully played. We all really enjoyed the concert. Thanks, Dan from Ilona. And Tom, bravo, Daniel, Deb, congratulations to Dan, Michael, and all the amazing composers. Thank you for all of your comments. There's so many here. And we're going to do a Q&A, so if you have any questions, shoot them through here and we'll get to them. So Paul, he says, thank you for all your wonderful compositions, folks. Keep composing and post your compositions up to the Facebook pages. Paavo, I did wonder whether Daniel could pronounce my surname, so it wasn't much of a surprise that he struggled. It is Finnish.
That's Finnish, okay. We'll have a chat. You'll have to show me how it's pronounced one day, Paavo.
And Paula says, Dan, you must be exhausted.
It was quite a big program, but I loved it. So.
Paul Ryan says, thanks so much, Daniel, Michael, and all the composers. Wonderful playing, Daniel. Jim, what a wonderful concert. Fresh composition full of life, which bodes well for guitar. Luthiers, outstanding guitars. We are lucky to have such talent. And thank you, Daniel, for breathing life into the compositions. Michael, outstanding broadcast. Thank you for the concerts this year. We needed them. Thank you, Jim.
Yeah.
Judith, fascinating. Paavo, the pronunciation. He gave you a little lesson on there.
Oh, okay.
Deb, Merry Christmas and a prolific new year of composing and playing to everyone here tonight.
Thanks, Deb. Thank you. You did a great job last month in the composition course. Many of these names are quite familiar.
And Paula is asking, can we produce the scores so we can buy them? So that'd be a big project to do, but we've been thinking about having a chat to the composers and seeing if we can get some publishing or something organised with that. But it is a big project to undertake, so we'll have to have a think about that. But maybe sometime next year, if time permits and resources allow for that. And Paul Copeland, 3 cheers for all the composers. Hip hip, hooray. Steve, fantastic compositions by everyone. I love them all. Greg, I have learnt just as much learning to play my piece as I did writing it.
Yeah. Fantastic piece, Greg.
Paul, he's saying agreeing, all the music should be published for sure. Greg is asking for a CD. Ilay, CD. Amanda Townsend, I'd buy the scores. Cilla, I still can't play my piece, at least not like that.
Yeah, it's a ripper, Cilla, that second movement. Yeah.
It's not easy. Ilay and family. Ilay. Beautiful guitar, David. And Nigel Jones, stunning work, fellow composers. I'm inspired hearing all your work. Cheers to an exciting year ahead.
Thanks, Nigel.
Wilco, David Wilkinson, great to have you here. Thanks for the great concert, Dan. Sensational work with these composers and lovely playing. Amazing work this year too, Macca. Thanks for all your work in bringing these concerts to us. My pleasure, David, and hope to catch up sometime soon. Now that we're out of lockdown, we'd love to catch up for a meal with your family. And for those who don't know, David actually does the sound at all of our MGF concerts. When they were live concerts, he'd come and record them all for us and do all of that incredible work. And he also just produced the CD that I released with the Melbourne Guitar Quartet, the quartet that I perform with here in Melbourne, and he did our sound for that CD titled Blood Oath. So you can check that out on mgq.com.au.
Yes, check that one out. It's a great album. Yeah, I really enjoyed listening to that one. Yeah.
And Jill, she is saying, Daniel and Michael, you are inspirational people. Thank you for creating all these wonderful courses and concerts.
Thanks, Jill. Thank you.
Rick, congratulations to all the other composers, really inspiring pieces. Ilay and family, thank you for the amazing concert, the incredible playing and the wonderful community spirit. Tom is asking if we can publish a book of compositions. We do have a book currently available, which is a free download, and that was from select compositions, I think 8 short pieces we chose from the initial introductory composition course we ran in July, and that can be downloaded on the Melbourne Guitar Festival website. I believe if you go to the educational tab, I need to update that page, so I'll do that. It's got some old information there, but the free book is available to download on that page, so you can grab a free copy of that, and it has some brilliant compositions in there. So we do encourage you to download that free ebook. Trisha, she is saying, great concert, wonderful to hear so many varied pieces. Thanks for all the encouraging comments on my piece. Well done, everyone, and thanks to Michael and Daniel.
Thanks, Trisha. Beautiful.
Thank you. Byron, thanks, Dan and Michael. Amazing work with the course this year.
Cheers, Byron. Yeah.
Kevin, blown away by the wide variety of pieces that came out of these courses. Loads of credit to Dan and Michael, as well as all the composers. Thank you, Kevin.
Yeah, thanks, Kevin.
And Cilla, she has to go. Bye, everyone. Bye, Cilla. Thanks for joining us.
Cilla.
And Yvonne, thank you, Dan and Michael, for all your effort and work. Such great results and so much motivation coming out of it. Paul, Merry Christmas to all of you and God bless. Thank you, Yvonne and Paul.
Cheers, Paul. God bless you, Paul.
And Paavo, Daniel, I was amazed at how well you interpreted my piece, given the lack of expression markings. Wonderful.
Well, there's a lot in there to interpret, so that's a beautiful, beautiful piece, Paavo.
And Paula says, so inspired to do some more
Yes.
work now.
Please do, Paula, and everyone else who composed during the course. I'd love to see more.
And Tom says, Daniel plays with such understanding. And Carol says, I'm glad to hear I'm not the only one struggling to play my piece well.
Yeah, don't worry, it's very normal. I've discovered the same thing with my own pieces. You think, because I composed it, you think, I composed it, so it should be a bit easier, and I know it quite well, but it's really like learning a piece from scratch. It's a really unusual sort of a thing. Yeah.
Yeah. And Carol says she is struggling, but getting there with practice. And Shane says, despite everything, 2020 was also an inspiring year. Thanks to Michael, Daniel, and all the composers. Congratulations to all. Thank you, Shane.
Yeah.
And I must say, it was a lot of fun and a great outlet for us, because we had, in the advanced courses, we had the 3 sessions per week where we'd go live and interact with everyone on Zoom. And it was kind of our little, 3 times weekly social gathering online, and it was great getting to know everyone and all of that. And then with the introductory course, the 2 sessions a week, it was something that Dan and I really look forward to in our calendars each month, because everything else was falling apart around us in the world. But it was great to keep in touch with everyone that way. And Ian says, well done all from rainy England. Loved these pieces, and Dave Hole brought it to a close wonderfully. Great playing. Thanks for joining us, Ian. I hope you're coping okay with the lockdowns over in England at the moment.
Thank you, Ian.
Daniel, thank you, Daniel and Michael and all the other composers. This has been a special night. Best wishes to all. Thank you, Daniel.
Thanks, Daniel.
Paula, this group really made a rotten year bearable. Thanks for your support and inspiration. Everyone, have a great Christmas. Thank you, Paula.
Thanks, Paula.
Kevin, happy Christmas. Hope to see you all again next year.
Yeah. See you next year, Kevin. Keep on writing. Yeah, your composition was really fun to play.
Paul says we should all enroll in the next introductory composition course to keep us inspired. We'd love to have you join us again, Paul. So February is the next one. And Rick says, here, Paul. David, yes, Paula, spot on. The course was a real tonic for a messed up year. And George says, thanks, Dan. Fantastic concert. Some serious pieces there. And that's all the comments we've got so far in the live chat. So real engaged audience tonight. It's great to see all the comments here.
Yeah, I wish I could play and kind of read the comments as they're going. Really, to get, because when you play for a real audience, you do get this kind of feedback, from the audience, and I guess that comes in the form of the comments. So it's really, really nice to read these comments after and sort of see how engaged everyone is. And,
I'd love to know your thoughts, because this is your second live stream concert you've played, and as you say, you don't get that immediate feedback from the audience. Does it make it difficult to perform?
It does a little bit. It can feel a little bit artificial, maybe, when you don't, but you can. It still does have that kind of sense of a performance. It's just different for me, anyway. I find it took me a little. It sort of takes me a little while to kind of. A bit longer to get into that kind of performance flow. Yeah. Whereas when you have an audience, you hear the applause and you see all these people, and you can just kind of. So that's kind of my experience with it. But it's still a really wonderful experience to perform.
And George, he says, I need to write a piece that uses that high C. Well, not many guitars have a high C.
Not many pieces have used that high C, but go ahead. Please.
My guitar doesn't have a high C, it only goes up to the B. So I actually super glued a metal chopstick on the end. I cut it down to size and bent it. My wife's Korean, and they have metal chopsticks rather than the wooden ones, and their chopsticks are flat as well. So I end up bending that, super glued it on the fretboard, and it works really well. So so it's
that's the job.
An interesting little trick to get an extra high C if your guitar doesn't have one, just to extend that fretboard a little bit more. Paavo says, such an uplifting experience. Congratulations to all the composers, and thanks to Daniel and Michael for inspiring us to try composing. I promise to continue. Merry Christmas, everyone.
Merry Christmas, Paavo.
Merry Christmas. Deb, lockdown has enabled far more diversity and communication between people, a real positive outcome from something that had felt so negative to begin with.
Yeah, it's great comment, Deb.
Definitely agree. Tom, try to do it over Zoom and you will have immediate applause. Yeah, we could do.
Could try.
Could try that
one day.
Yeah. George, I saw that weird thing on your guitar. I was going to ask. You've seen that in some of the videos I've posted in the groups. Yes, it's an extra high C I've added on there. Excellent. So that's all the comments that have come through, and you've got one more free session this month. Did you mention that earlier?
No.
So it's an introduction to effective practice. Daniel's done 2 of them already this month, and they were really well received and great feedback from them. So if you want to join the final one, it is free, and it's on December 29th. It goes for about 1 hour, and Daniel will give an introduction to 3 practice methods that he uses that he has found helps him learn programs like tonight incredibly quickly in such a short period of time. So if you want to learn a bit about how Daniel approaches his practice, please sign up for the free workshop, and details are on the Melbourne Guitar Festival website for that. And we've got a couple more comments. Greg, for many years I've wanted to get a locally made guitar. It was great hearing you play all the locally made instruments. Roger Lee's guitar is amazing. Definitely.
That's great.
Yeah. And are you in Melbourne, Greg?
Greg's in Melbourne.
Greg's in Melbourne, yeah. Oh, we should have a chat then, because I know Carey has some guitars for sale as well, and maybe we can contact the other luthiers, David and also Roger, and see if they have any instruments currently for sale, and we can share some information for that. And Nigel says, I think John Williams used a matchstick for the high C. Yes, I have heard that story. I believe that is correct. And Ilay and family, Merry Christmas everyone. May the new year be even more musical. And Deb says, improvisation.
Improvisation.
Right. So yeah, thank you again for joining us. Thank you, Dan. Thank you, composers at home, everyone watching, and everyone that's been supporting our live stream concerts over the last 7 months or so this year. So yeah, it's been great having you with us and the continued support, and hope to see you online again soon. Live stream concerts for the MGF will resume likely in late February. So we won't be doing anything in January, and I'll be doing less live stream concerts next year. Hopefully at some point we can get back to physical concerts in Melbourne. It looks like they're not too far away at the moment, so love to see some of you at a physical concert, and if we do host a physical one, we'll also live stream that as well. So thank you again. Have a great, safe, merry, happy Christmas, and keep well with the pandemic wherever you are. I know we've got a lot of people watching from Europe and other places, so we're all thinking of you, and thank you for joining us. And Deb says, yes, it would be good to know the prices of the guitars so we can find that out. But I think generally for a handmade instrument, you're looking probably from on average the $6,000 to $10,000 Australian range for a handmade instrument, a concert guitar. That's kind of like an average benchmark. You might be able to get some for $5,000, and then you've got higher end ones which are between the 10 to 20 and 20,000 plus, but they're kind of a bit of a different league if you've got that extra money to spend. But generally speaking, the great concert instruments are around the $6,000 to $10,000 range. And I think that's also might end the stream here. And thank you.
Thank you, everyone. Have a safe Merry Christmas, and thank you so much for being here and sharing your time with us and your lovely comments, and we'll see you around in the future.
Great. Thanks. Bye, Paul. I'll see you then. Bye, David. Enjoy
See
your
you,
camping.
Paul. See you, David. Yeah. Thanks, everyone. Good.
All off.
Oh, sorry,
What?
the program went a bit long.
No, it's great. I loved it. What a great thing. Yeah. At the end, when I was talking at the very end about the price, when I started, and then there's more 10 to 20 above, and then I was like, I don't want to make them sound like they're a lot better than the other guitars. I was like, oh shit.
It's okay.
I was digging myself into a hole there at that point. I was like, so engaged, hey?
Yeah?
Because
I didn't see as it was going, but
even just at the end,
even
the
at the
comments,
end,
we never
yeah.
get that for
Right.
concerts.
Okay.
Ever.
Well, yeah, I mean, having the
Because everyone,
a lot of the composers there,
are all
and
chatting, and
yeah, it's a great community, and
it'll be interesting to see how it sounded. Yeah.
Yeah.
The reverb and everything.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I felt like it took me a little while to. I was